Hello. So today we'll start our new chapter on signaling system for railway engineering. So basically in the signaling system, in this chapter we'll discuss about the various type of signaling system, their origin and how they are working together to make the railway system very safe and efficient. So first, the purpose of the signaling and interlocking is primarily to control and regulate the movement of the trains safely and efficiently. Now, this signaling includes operation, interlocking of signals, points, block instrument and other allied equipments in a predetermined manner for the safe and efficient running of trains. Signaling enables the movement of trains to be controlled in such a way that the existing tracks are utilized to the maximum. In fact, in railway terminology, signaling is a medium of communication between the station master or the controller sitting in a remote place in the office and the loco pilot. Now, the history of signaling goes back to the olden days when two policemen on a horseback were sent ahead of the train to ensure that the tracks were clear and to regulate the movement of the trains. In later years, these policemen in uniforms were placed at regular intervals to regulate the movement of the train. Railway signaling in its current form was introduced for the first time in England in 1842. Now next is objective of the signaling. So first objective is to regulate the movement of the train so that they run safely at maximum. Second one is to maintain a safe distance between trains that are running on the same line. Third one is to ensure the safety of two or more trains that have to cross or approach each other. Next one, to provide facilities for safe and efficient shunting. Now shunting operation means pushing or pulling the train from one track to another. So next one is to regulate the arrival and departure of trains from the station yard and to ensure the safety of the train at level crossing when the train is required to cross the path of road vehicles. Okay, so these are the objectives of the signaling. Now classification of the signaling. Now signals are classified based on different characteristics, and these characteristics are operational, functional, locational, constructional and special characteristic. In the terms of operational characteristic, there are fixed signals. In terms of functional characteristics, there are stop signals, permissive signals and shunt signals. Under locational characteristics, there are reception signals and departure signals. In terms of construction, there are semaphore signal and colored light signal, and in special characteristics there are calling on signal, repeater signal, coaching signal, etc. So these are the basically different classification of the signaling system. Now all these type of signals are basically fixed type of signals. So if we classify this in another manner, in that case we can get this picture here. That signal or fixed signal is divided into three parts: calling on signal, stop and permissive signal and shunt signal. So under stop and permissive signal there are colored light signal and semaphore signals, and this lower quadrant, modified lower quadrant, upper quadrant, these are basically different portion of the semaphore signal or different category of the semaphore signal. Now this semaphore signal can be used as a outer signal, as a warner signal, as a stop signal, as a home signal, as a calling on shunt signal, etc. So we will discuss this in the later section. Next is fixed signal. So these signals are visible and draw the attention of the driver because of their strategic position. So fixed signals are firmly fixed on the ground by the side of the track and can be further subdivided into stop signals. So what is stop signals? So stop signals are types of fixed signal which do not change their position. They inform the driver about the condition of the railway line ahead of them. So under the stop signal or under the fixed signal, one main portion is semaphore signal. So basically the word semaphore was first used by a Greek historian. Sema means sign and phore means to bear. So basically semaphore means to bear the sign. In other words, it is basically the meaning of signaling. Okay, now a semaphore signal consists of a movable arm pivoted on a vertical post through a horizontal pin. Now let us go to the picture. Yes, this is the picture. So this is the movable arm. Now the other side of the signal is painted white with a black vertical stripe. The complete mechanical assembly of the signal consists of a spectacle arm, this arm, spectacle arm, a pivot, a counterweight spring stop, etc., and housed on a top of a post, okay, tubular post. In order for the signal to also be visible in the night, a kerosene oil or electric lamp is operated through a twilight switch is fixed to the post. The arm moves the spectacle which contains green and red colored glass. The red glass is positioned at the upper end and the green glass is positioned at the lower end of the spectacle so that the red light is visible to the driver when the arm is horizontal and the green light is visible when the arm is lowered. Okay, so the semaphore signal is used as a stop signal with a red square ended arm as well as a Warner signal with a red fish-tailed arm signal. So whenever it is used as a Warner signal, in that case, instead of this rectangular shape, its shape would be fish-tail shaped. So lower quadrant semaphore signals move only in fourth quadrant of a circle and have only two color aspect, that is green and red. Fourth quadrant means if you divide a circle into four portions, then the last quadrant, first, second, that is first, second, third and fourth quadrant. So basically these arms moves only in the downward direction, so that is fourth quadrant, and it will move downward at an angle of 45 degree from the horizontal. So lower quadrant semaphore signals moves only in the fourth quadrant of a circle and have only two color aspects. In order to provide the driver with further information, multi-aspect upper quadrant signaling or Mach signaling is sometimes used on busy routes. So in this system, the arms of the semaphore signal rest in three positions and the signals have three color aspects, namely red, yellow and green, associated with the horizontal 45 degree above the horizontal and vertical direction respectively. Okay, so this is the stop signals in Mach signaling system. So this is the first position where the arm is in horizontal and then at a 45 degree angle from the horizontal, then at a 90 degree angle from the horizontal. So indication of this first position, basically this first position and aspect of the signaling is on stop and colored during this position is red and it indicate stop. Okay, so next position is off caution, it indicates that yellow light and indicates proceed with caution and be prepared to stop at the next signal. Now next is green, it indicates proceed at maximum permitted speed. Okay, now next is stop signal in Mach signaling system. So the signals are designed to be fail safe so that if there is any failure in the working of the equipment, they will always be in the stop position. Basically that semaphore signal going to the picture, this is the resting position of a semaphore signal. So in that position, the semaphore signal always indicate the red light. Okay, always indicate the red light. So whenever it is in the on position, in that case only it will show the green light. So if this instrument doesn't operate, in that case also it only indicate the red indicator. So we can say that this signal is fail safe, so that if there is any failure in the working of the equipment, they will always be in the stop position. So these signals are operated by hands, levers or buttons located in certain cabin, which is normally provided near the station master's office. Semaphore stop signals are normally provided as outer signals, home signals, starter signals, advanced starter signals and warner signals. Now what are these home signal, starter signals? We will discuss this later on. So our next is permissive signal. Permissive signal, that is warner or distant signal. So permissive signals, as the name suggests, is give permission to the loco pilot about, or give warning of the loco pilot about the signal ahead of him. So basically, in order to ensure the trains speed up safely, it is considered necessary that warning be given to drivers before they approach to a stop signal. This advance warning is considered necessary, otherwise the drivers may confront a stop signal when they least expect it and take abrupt action, which can lead to perilous situation. A warner or a distant signal has therefore been developed, which is to be used ahead of a stop signal and is in the form of a permissive signal that can be passed even in most restricted condition. In the case of stop signal, the driver has to stop the train when it is in the on position, but in case of permissive signal, the driver can pass through even when it is in the on position. Okay, so the warner signal is similar to a stop signal, except that the movable arm is given the shape of a fishtail by providing a V-shaped notch at the free end. The white strip is also V-shaped. Now the warner signal is intended to warn the driver of a train regarding the following aspects. So first one is to inform that the driver is approaching a stop signal, and to inform the driver as to whether the approach signal is in on or off position. Okay, so this is the different position of a distance signaling of a mock signaling system. So in case of multi-aspect upper quadrant signaling for the semaphore distance signal, there is fishtailed arm painted yellow with black band. Near each of the arm there are three aspects, and indication of the same are presented in the next table. So this first indicator, it indicates that proceed and be prepared to stop at next stop signal. This second one indicate proceed and be prepared to pass the next signal at caution, and the third one indicate proceed at maximum permitted speed. Now the warner signal can be placed either one of the following location independently on a post with a fixed green light 1.5 meter to 2 meter above it for night indication, and on the same post below the outer signal or the home signal or stop signal. Okay, in case of warner is fixed below and stop signals, then various aspect of the signal is indicated here. So this warner is fixed below an outer signal. So see, in the topmost position a stop signal is provided, and below it a warner signal is provided. So the various aspect of it is that first position, this position is called caution position, and it indicate red light and yellow light. So it means proceed with caution and be prepared to stop at the next stop signal. So next position is attention, and it indicated by two yellow lights, and it means proceed cautiously so as to pass the next stop signal at a restricted speed. Now this one indicate or uh, proceed, and it indicated by two green lights, and the meaning of this signal is proceed at full permissible speed. Now our next is stop signal with reference to their position in a railway track. Okay, so here the first one is outer signal on double line section. So basically whenever a train is approaching towards a station, in that case the train will encounter different type of signal system. So first signaling, whenever he is approaching to a station, in that case the first signaling system would be outer signal. So this is the first semaphore stop signal at a station that indicates the entry of a train from a block section into the section limit. This signal is provided at an adequate distance beyond the station limit so that the line is not obstructed once the permission to approach has been given, and it is provided at a distance of about 400 meters from the home signal. So basically home signal is provided after the outer signal. So this signal has one arm but has a Warner signal nearly 2 meters below on the same post. So in that case this signal has one arm, but in the same post there would be another Warner signal. So Warner signal and the home signal or outer signal will be in the same post. So when the outer signal is in the on position, it indicates that the driver must bring the train to a stop at a distance of about 9 meters from the signal and then proceed with caution towards the home signal. Now if the outer signal is in the off position, it indicates that the driver doesn't need to reduce the speed of the train if the home signal is also in the off position, which is indicated by the off position of the Warner. As the outer signal controls the reception of the trains, it comes under the category of reception signal. Then home signal on double line section. After the outer signal, the next stop signal toward the station side is home signal. So it is provided right at the entrance of the station for the protection of the station limits. The signal is provided about 50 meters short of the point and crossing. The arms provided on a home signal are generally as many as the number of reception line in the station yard. Reception lines, now the number of reception lines is basically depend on the number of platforms situated in the station. The signals for the main line is provided at an elevation which is higher than the others. So if there are different multiple lines, in that case one line would be main line and other would be branch line or loop line. So in that case the signal for the main line will be situated over the other signals. So when a home signal is in the on position, it indicates that the train must come to a halt short of the signal. In the off position, it indicates that the particular line is free and the train is permitted to enter cautiously. After that, it is routing signal. So basically routing signal is a combination of signal which is situated on a same post. Okay, so this signal indicates the route that has been earmarked for the reception of the train. So generally the signal for the main line is kept at a higher level than that for the loop line. So in case of train is being received on the loop line, the speed has to be restricted to about 15 km per hour, whereas if the reception is on the main line, a higher speed is permissible. Okay, so see here all the signaling are situated on a single post. Okay, see this picture. Okay, so this is routing signal. Now signaling arrangement under modified lower quadrant signaling system. Since lower quadrant semaphore two aspect signaling system is capable of conveying limited information. Why? Because there are only two type of signal indication. to the loco pilot, the arrangement was modified to be known as modified lower quadrant signaling system. So in this arrangement, a warner is provided on the same dial as that of the mainline home signal. Okay, just get to the picture. So here the warner is provided at the main same dial as of the home signal. Now route indicators can also be provided by including separate home signal for each line, with the main line home signal being placed the highest while all the other signal are placed at the same level. In the case of colored light signal, so this is colored light signals. In case of colored light signals, the home signal is provided with either a graphic light route indicator displaying the line number on which the train is to be received, or different arms lighted by 5 lamps. These lamps from the arm which is used for indicating a line, while there is no arm in the case of a main line as depicted in this figure. Then is starter signal. So the starter signal is a stop signal and marks the limit up to which a particular line can be occupied without infringing on other lines. A separate starter signal is provided for each line. The starter signal controls the movement of the train when it departs from the station. The train leaves the station only when the starter signal is in the off position. As this signal controls the departure of the train, it comes under the category of departure signal. So our outer signal, home signal and routing signal all are meant to reception of the train. So they fall under the category of reception signal, and they are placed at a point where the trains are approaching in that direction. But the starter signals are placed near the end of the station, and it marks the end of the station. Okay, so after the starter signal, another signal is provided that is called advanced starter signal. This is also a type of departure signal. So this is the last stop signal provided for the departure of the trains from a station. The signal is provided by on the outermost points or switches and marks the end of the station limit. A block section lies between the advanced starter signal of one station and the outer signal of the next station. No train can leave the station limits until and unless the advanced starter is taken off. So thank you.